Yeah, if they're telling you that there's no clones, the guy telling you is probably a clone. At this point, I have no doubt that they've made human clones.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth.
Something strange is going on, and folks are finally starting to notice. Word is the Kanye and Jim Carrey we're seeing ain't really them, and Joe Rogan exposing it all. According to him, they look and act completely different. The street's been whispering about clones, doubles, and replacements for years, but now the real question is, where are the real ones? Y'all remember those clips that had everybody confused? That dude sitting off to the side looking exactly like Kanye West? But something just fell off, same face, bills, but the energy completely different. And that's when the internet started asking questions nobody could answer. Because if that really was then who exactly have we been watching this whole time? Now here's where it gets deeper, because this didn't just start with random clips online. Kanye himself had already been hinting that something wasn't right long before any of this went viral. He spoke about being pushed onto heavy medication, not just casually, but aggressively. And not just any medication, lithium, the kind that doesn't just calm you, but slows you down. And when you start putting that next to names like Britney Spears and Michael Jackson, artists who also had public struggles tied to control and pressure, it stops looking like a coincidence and starts looking like a pattern.
Look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly, it took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, oh, woe is, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look.
They would have Michael Jackson.
Now pause right there, because here's the part people don't talk about enough. Kanye didn't just mention medication. He mentioned folks around him, handlers, people whose job allegedly was to manage him. And one name that kept coming up, Harley Pasternak. Not just a trainer and wellness coach, but someone with a background tied to military research, specifically psychological conditioning. That's his resume, and trust he's real proud about it.
Lucky enough to have him as my graduate advisor. And the area that I was interested in was how drugs and food affect muscular performance. And
when you say drugs, is that like performance enhancing drugs, or are they
all kinds of drugs?
Right, okay.
So working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was, so I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday thing.
Let that sink in, because now the conversation shifts from celebrity meltdown to something way more controlled and intentional. And this is where things get uncomfortable, because there were messages where Kanye was being threatened, not subtly, directly, being told he could be locked up again, institutionalized, like that was just a switch someone could flip. And the wildest part, nobody really questioned it. The media moved on like it was normal. But think about it, since when does a trainer have that kind of power over a global superstar? Now stack that with everything else. The sudden behavior changes. The way Kanye went from unpredictable, outspoken, emotional to calm, measured, almost reset. And it didn't happen gradually. It happened after he disappeared. Something he hinted at, that if he ever goes missing and comes back, that ain't him.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
And Kanye had also been speaking and exposing some nasty industry secrets that powerful folks want hidden from the public.
I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm appreciative.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
They can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They could control Shaq. They could control Charles Barkley. They could control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Then, after that, for a whole 2 weeks, Ye was gone. No public sightings, updates, or explanations. And when he came back, everything was different. New marriage, new energy, new way of moving, and people noticed immediately.
As for Ye, well, we haven't seen him really since all the anti-Semitic rants and all those interviews he was doing.
He's been
hanging around with Nick Fuentes.
Disappeared for a couple of weeks.
Really laid low. Well, he resurfaced in Beverly Hills. He was not solo though. He was with a woman, a blonde woman, and that's all we can tell you about her because one, we didn't get a really good look at her.
Oh, please.
Yo, you got the shot, but I'm saying
It was not good, but I respect you.
it's like, that's my thing. It's like, you don't even know. Y'all just jump up on people like this, and it's just like,
I apologize if I
first
caused
time-
you trouble, and you told me to stop, and I stopped.
So now the question becomes what actually happened during those missing days. But here's where another name enters the picture and makes this even heavier. Aaron Carter. Because right before he passed, he reportedly reached out to Kanye, wanted to talk man to man, and then suddenly he's gone. Official reports gave one explanation, but the timing, that's what made people start asking questions. Because why reach out to Ye right before everything goes quiet? What did he know? What did he want to say? So now connect that to everything else. Kanye speaking out. Kanye is being pressured. Kanye disappearing, and then someone tries to reach him and doesn't make it. Coincidence or something people aren't ready to look at yet? So now we're left with something bigger than just rumors. Because even if you don't believe in literal cloning, you can't deny something changed drastically and not in a natural way. Now hold that thought, because just when people were trying to process Kanye, another name enters the conversation. Jim Carrey. And this one might be even stranger, because Jim Carrey wasn't just another actor. He was someone who had been openly questioning the system for years, talking about reality, talking about control, even saying things like he doesn't believe in icons. Statements that sounded wild at first, but now people are revisiting them.
They're celebrating.
You gotta admit, it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise.
And Jim, over the years, continued being loud, talking about the industry, but something felt real odd about him at the 2026 César Awards. The street saying the dude that showed up didn't look like the same Jim Carrey, didn't move like him, didn't even sound like him. Fans started pointing out everything, the face, skin, and structure, even the eyes, completely different. And no, you can't just blame that on aging, because people who followed Jim Carrey for decades immediately felt something was off.
That's not Jim Carrey. That is not Jim Carrey. It's not him. It is so blaringly obvious. I, like everyone, has seen the Selena Gomez theory. I'd heard about cloning, I'd heard about all that stuff, and was always like, that's not Jim Carrey. As my favorite actor and comedian of all time, I know that man. I have seen all of his interviews, him in all of his roles, know his mannerisms. That is not him. That's not him. Look at his mannerisms in that video. Look at his face. His face is different. The same man who said awards are meaningless, that those people are evil, that all of it's meaningless. I don't know where Jim Carrey is. I'm gonna be praying for him, for his safety, because that man, that is not Jim Carrey. It's becoming real to me. Something's happening. For sure.
Now here's where it gets even crazier, because some people tried to explain it away. Plastic surgery, makeup, lighting, but then came the bigger question. Since when does surgery change your entire presence, your mannerisms, your voice? And would Jim really do surgeries to look different? As one user bluntly stated, my Jim Carrey would never get plastic surgery. So yeah, not him. Another wrote, that was definitely not Jim Carrey. His eyes aren't even the same color. And just like Kanye, Jim Carrey had also been speaking out, calling out the industry, calling out the illusion, even describing describing Hollywood as something hollow, something meaningless. But now, the version people saw recently was praising the same industry he once questioned. Smiling, affordable, aligned. So now the same question comes back again. Is that really him, or is it someone playing the role? And here's where everything starts to connect, because it's not just about Kanye or Jim Carrey. This conversation has been building for years. Names keep popping up. Jamie Foxx, Gucci Mane, people online saying they came back different, look different, act and sound different. Now you can call it conspiracy or just internet talk, but you can't ignore the pattern, because the same story keeps repeating. Celebrity speaks out, something happens, they disappear, they come back different. But if all of this is just coincidence, why does it keep happening the same way? Why do the same patterns show up across different people? And why do those changes always come after someone starts talking too much? And when it comes to Kanye, what really happened during those missing weeks? Was it just a reset or something more controlled? And Jim Carrey, did he just change as a person, or are we looking at someone completely different? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is only getting louder. And if you're all in for raw truths and bold takes, hit that like, subscribe, and click on that next video popping on your screen now.